If you fear that your partner is having an affair, there's a right and a wrong way, or a way that's going to help build the relationship, or a way that's going to absolutely destroy it by the questions you ask. Now, it would be nice if anyone who cheated would just go back to their partner and say, hey, listen, I am so sorry. I made a terrible choice. And they talked about it then. But in the majority of affairs, that is not how it's done. One partner checks the phone, or they hire someone to go, chasing after them, some kind of so they have legal pictures, a spy, or they, hear it from somebody else. And that's what causes all the messiness. If you are listening to this and you are suspicious, but you don't want to blow everything up, you're thinking maybe I could sweep it under the rug, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to encourage you to go through these steps and do it alongside my guidance. You do not want to deny it. You don't want to try and put these fears or sweep them away, because they're not going to go away. And oftentimes what ends up happening is the longer you sit on it, the worse it is. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to set an intention for what you want from opening up the conversation. So I'm going to agree with you that you should open up the conversation, but I also want you to have an intention. Is the intention to open up a space where you both can be, honest with each other? Is it to get facts from each other? Is it to relay your concerns with each other? Make sure you set an intention. Secondly, rather than opening the conversation with accusations, somebody saw you, you saw a phone, you heard something, open it with your fears. Tell them that you love them, and one of your greatest fears has always been thinking of them cheating on you or betraying or you losing them. When you start the conversation like this, you help the other person de-escalate. The other person's not going to put arms up. They're not going to get defensive. They're going to meet you at a level where there actually can be good conversation. When you open up with your fears, you're making yourself vulnerable. And to match your vulnerability, your partner is usually going to come and meet you in that space, which is a healthier space to really get stuff out and talk about. Thirdly, when your emotions are running high, it's difficult to offer people the benefit of the doubt. Now, not every suspected person of having an affair is having an affair. And I want you to remember this, because sometimes things look suspicious, but they really aren't. Although I would say if they look suspicious, you need to tell your partner, because that's vital information for them. When something looks suspicious, whatever they're doing, they're keeping too much to themselves. And this is a perfect jumping platform to open up that you guys need to connect more. You need to talk more. And if that comes out of the conversation, that's fantastic. And number 4, people define infidelity differently. Now, your partner may say, I was just talking to someone. It's a friend who's going through their parents dying or they're having some trauma. I did not mean to allude to the fact that I was cheating. I think at that point it would be good to mention to your partner, emotional affairs are real, and that's a form of cheating. Many people don't think oral sex is cheating, but it is to the majority. So is sexting. So is texting an ex. That is a form of betrayal. And if you guys haven't had already the talk about what depicts cheating or infidelity, I would encourage you with number 4 to go through that. What is betrayal to you? Is having a separate account hidden, a bank account, a betrayal? Yes, it is. It has nothing to do with sex, but it has to do with another big power entity within the relationship, money. These are things, these are forms of betrayal. And number 4 reminds us, it's important that you have a list of what is a betrayal to you and that your partner has one so that you can discuss them. And number 5, consider your own history. With this, I mean, many times people grew up with one cheating family member, and it is notorious how they will date people that cheat on them the way that parent cheated on the other parent. It's almost incredulous that you would want to repeat that. But in our own forms of healing, when we reparent and we change, what we see oftentimes is part of that repeating or healing is to repeat what happened to our parents and fix it in our marriage. And ask, if you don't have a clear view of that, ask your friends. And your friend may be the first to say, oh yeah, the last 2 people you dated cheated on you. There is something significant here. If that happens to you, then it's really important that you make an appointment with a therapist. I would say before you do anything with this relationship, I would do that so I could get some clarity. I do want to follow this video up with this. 2/3 of all the clients I've seen who cheat keep their relationship together. They're able to work through it. Maybe because they went at it like this. I was their therapist and we actually went through these 5. So we gained insight before we even started taking apart the affair. Secondly, it's very important you understand when you're emotionally going through anything like this, a fear of betrayal, a possible partner that's cheating, any kind of infidelity, you must take care of yourself. If you don't get sleep, if you're not nourishing yourself right, if you're not pampering yourself in a way that is emotionally supportive, then you run the risk of overreacting and making huge assumptions about your partner that may or may not be true. If your partner isn't abusive, if you've had a good relationship up to the point of what you think or are suspicious may be an affair, then, and you have children and your partner is a fantastic parent, then I would suggest that you go to therapy and you try to salvage the marriage. And the reasons are too numerous to go on to in this video, but I would suggest you do that. Before you do that though, look at your self-care plan. Make sure you're taking care of yourself because it's a marathon, not a sprint, healing from an infidelity. And you're going to need your energy. That means you're going to need to love and nurture yourself.